Hello and welcome to Illuminate, Lighting the Path to 5D Awakening. I'm your host for this event, Sasa, and I'm so excited to introduce you to our next speaker, Dr. Ervin Laszlo. Hi, Dr. Laszlo.
Hello, Sasa. Good to be with you.
It's lovely having you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Laszlo spent his childhood in Budapest, Hungary. He was a celebrated child prodigy on the piano with public appearances from the age of 9. Receiving a grand prize at the International Music Competition in Geneva, he was allowed to leave Hungary and begin an international concert career, first in Europe and then in America. Dr. Laszlo received the Sorbonne's highest degree, the Doctorate in Letters and Human Sciences, in 1970. Shifting to the life of a scientist and humanist, he lectured at various U.S. universities, including Yale and Princeton. Following his work on modeling the future evolution of world order at Princeton, he was asked to produce a report for the Club of Rome, of which he was a member. In the late 70s and early 80s, Dr. Laszlo ran global projects at the United Nations Institute for Training and Research at the request of the Secretary General. In the 1990s, his research led him to the discovery of the Akashic field. He's the author, co-author, or editor of 106 different books that have appeared in a total of 25 languages, and has also written several hundred papers and articles in scientific journals and popular magazines. He is a member of numerous scientific bodies, including the International Academy of Science, the World Academy of Arts and Science, the International Academy of Philosophy of Science, and the International Medici Academy. He was elected member of the Hungarian Academy of Science in 2010. And our topic is The Upshift, Humanity's Sacred Mission. So, Dr. Laszlo, can you tell me what is the upshift?
That is a very, very good question. In general, I would say it's an upturn finally in human affairs from a downturn, from a period of threats and dangers and conflicts and violence to a better life, to a better world. It's an upshift towards our next level of our evolution. One can say much more about it. So let me just say that very briefly to answer your question. An upshift is what will keep us alive, not only alive, but thriving. That is the hope for humanity. Not remaining as it is, which we can't anyway. Nothing can, the world can be stopped. The earth keeps turning and we keep turning, either going for the better or for the worse. The upshift is a turn for the better. And I'll be happy to discuss that more about what it is and how we can know it, if that is of if interest to you. But this is the question is vital. What is an upshift? An upshift is what we are hoping for, what we are aiming for, what is the hope for us and for humanity.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, I would love it if you would elaborate more.
Well, an upshift is a level, is a move to a next level of our evolution. Evolution is not only biological, not only evolution of species that like Darwin had it. Nowadays, we speak about evolution as a cosmic phenomenon, as well as a human phenomenon. Everything that exists in the world in some way or another is evolving, or it is devolving, moving up or moving down. The question is, in a present period, can we move down from a downward phase to an up phase, to an upshift? And I'm claiming that not only can we move in that direction, we are moving, we are actually in an upshift period. That's a very bold statement, but I'm willing to illustrate it in a couple of words to exemplify it. The world is a complex place, many things happening in it. It's also what is happening is a large amount, large size shift, a large dimensional shift happening overall from humanity on the planet to down to the smallest point where it's an individual's upshift, his or her fortunes, his or her place on the planet. All that is happening simultaneously. Now, what do we see? When we look at the overall picture relatively close by, we see our own different destinies. We see our own different places on this earth. And we see how we are threatened. We are threatened by war and by violence. We are threatened by misunderstanding, by conflict, and by the disappearance of traditional values. That is what we can see on an ordinary optic. If you look at the small picture, of course, that we see only our individual destiny, which shapes according to how we are lucky or not lucky, how we are capable of handling our issues on this earth or not. But when we look at the larger picture, we see something different. The larger picture is the picture of the evolution of humanity on the planet. Why is that important? Because we are part of that evolution. We are its carriers as well as its manifestations. So whatever is happening to humanity on the planet is happening to us. And what we do about it, we also do to the planet. Humanity is in a very precarious situation. And it is in a process, what we have known in science as a bifurcation, as a shape, as a shearing of, a shaping of the traditional trajectory, moving into other phase, a phase which is not determined in advance, a phase that is yet to be created. It's a phase of opportunity. What we know, but we do not know what the future will bring, but we do know what it could bring. And we do know that we could consciously act with it, interact, so that we help for it to bring a positive future. The overall trend in evolution, the same as in the cosmos, the same as on this planet, is what the Greeks called from chaos to cosmos. Chaos is what we say today, disorder, indeterminacy, and danger, and just force, the play of mercy and fortune, or the fortunes of destiny. But what we can see when we move on the larger picture is that underlying these many dangers, there is an overall trend, a trend which conforms to the evolutionary movement on the planet. The trend from, as I said, from chaos to cosmos. Chaos we have on the surface, but underlying it, perhaps we can see cosmos. Why is that? Because finally, think of it, finally humanity is becoming a planetary species. Finally, humanity is beginning to learn how to live, how to coexist, how to thrive on this planet. Nearly 8 billion people are trying to work out their destiny with sharing the planet with difficulty, with problems, with all kinds of disappointments and reversals. But the overall trend is nevertheless to work out the problems and reach a space, reach a point in which we can live in harmony with each other and with nature on this small blue-green planet. 8 billion people are trying to work out their destiny. The conflict have been always there, but they were not so evident because now humanity is moving into a single space, a human kind on the planet, all in contact with all. Everything is in contact with everything else. In addition, the new sciences, the quantum sciences tell us that what is happening in one place in this system, which we call humanity, is happening elsewhere too. That nothing is local, nothing is confined to a single point in space and in time. Everything interacts in space and in time. What we do affects us, affects all of humanity. So the overall trend, I submit, I claim, is towards working out our differences. The hotspots that are today flaring up today, the Middle East, the Balkans, Africa at some points, several points in Africa, Syria, etc., have been traditionally there. They have not been so evident because the people who are involved there were not so closely in contact with one another. They have been brought together by the new technologies of communication and travel and contact. So we are now forming a planetary species, and that species is moving to work out its differences. That's the overall picture, the positive picture. Will they succeed? That is yet to be said, that is yet to be seen. I know that only that it is taking place. We are working on the source paths on planetary existence. We need to pursue that and become masters of our destiny. Evolution is twofold on the whole. One is level quantitatively. More and more elements, more and more people, more and more societies are being brought together, added together into a single large system, which has its problems, obviously, but also its potentials. But evolution is also qualitative. It's vertical. It's moving from chaos to better and better move, harmony and understanding and coexistence. And that is where we are trying to move that incredibly complex system that we are creating from the level of conflict to the level of harmony and understanding. I think this movement toward understanding, toward harmony, ultimately toward love, unconditional love, that is encoded in us, in the human being. Without this, we would not be here. We would have gone down the drain of history a long time ago. We are here because we are coded, instinctively, inherently coded for coexistence, for flourishing, for peace, and ultimately for love. That is, I think, what's that history of humanity, in fact, the history of the cosmos from the Big Bang to today, so 18, 20 billion years. What this history shows us, a persistent but not even progression from chaos to cosmos. We are becoming conscious of it, and we know, and this is not a cause for threatening, a cause for despair. It's a cause for jubilation and celebration, and above all, for conscious action. We can become masters of our destiny because we know which is positive. What is positive? Positive is moving toward harmony, toward oneness, toward love with each other and with nature around us. That is evolutionary progression. And that progression is taking place with great leaps and hiatus and problems, but on the whole, it's taking place because more and more people are coming in contact with each other. More and more people are beginning to ask, who are we? Are we one? Are we possibly one humanity? Can we live on this one earth together? Now we are in contact. Now it remains for us to make that contact positive, constructive, and leading to the next level, which is the creation of what is a veritable paradise on earth. The paradise on earth is 8 billion people or more as we go along, living in harmony, in peace, and creating together higher and higher level systems of coexistence, of striving, where everybody can live, everybody can have a good life, and have a part of the natural heritage we have on this earth as human beings. I think we are in that critical point now, where we can become conscious of our evolution from chaos to cosmos. To help this, to take part of this, is a sacred mission. That is my belief. Upshifting on this earth toward the next evolutionary level is a sacred mission.
Wonderful. That is such a heartening picture, especially with the times that we live in. And I enjoy seeing the picture you paint. I feel like it is meant to be as well.
But it's important to understand, to see that picture, because then we know what is our destiny. What would be our destiny if we don't spoil it, if we don't interact with it and break it apart. Our destiny is to become a planetary species, every plant, every ant on this planet is a product of evolution. And when the plant thrives, when it flowers, and they all live together, whether they are ants or human beings, that means that they are moving toward the next level of evolution. We are moving faster than ever. The new technologies are putting us into each other's arms practically. But now the task is to make this closeness, this oneness into a positive instance, not a place of conflict and war and violence, but a place where we can share, where we can truly be the one that evolution has meant us to be.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, this brings me to another question, looking at the bigger picture of humanity, what would you say humanity's sacred mission is?
Our sacred mission is to become what we are meant to be, whole systems interacting with other whole systems. Nothing partially is final on this earth. Everything that is good, that is positive, that is moving forward is in some sense a whole. A great piece of art is always whole. A well-organized society is a whole. An ecosystem is naturally always a whole. And what is a breakdown is a break in the wholeness. And if we can identify it, we can eliminate it, we can overcome it, and we can live together as wholes, sharing it. Quantum science tells us that we are wholes, but this wholeness, whether it becomes expression or not, whether it gives expression in truly in life again, that is up to us to develop. Even the most evolved quantum system can be broken apart because when we introduce disharmony at one point, it shows up elsewhere too. Whatever we do around us needs to be harmonious. The term I like to use is coherence. We need to be coherent. Coherence in the body means health. Coherence in our spirit means love. Coherence in a society means democracy, harmony, oneness, and coexistence. Coherence is necessary to live and this is the basis, the step to the next level of our evolution. Overcoming discoherence, incoherence, becoming again the coherent entity that nature has designed us to be. Everything healthy is coherent. Disease is always incoherence. So the sacred mission is to be healthy in mind, in spirit, as well as in physically, in biology. We are on the point where we are beginning to realize this. We are not exceptions on this planet. We are part of the evolution that is going on, that we are taking part in an evolution, which is a formidable, incredible mission. Recognizing it, knowing it, and acting like it, not just letting ourselves be guided, which we also need to do if to take care of our natural instinct, to make use of them, but consciously recognizing it. The expression we can also use is waking up. We need to wake up to who we are, to what our destiny is, what our mission is. Then we can start following it. Because the wish to be coherent, the wish to evolve, the impulse to evolve is in us. It's part of every cell in our body, of every neuron in our brain. We are coherence-oriented entities. And to find this coherence means to find the force of life, the force of evolution, which is as important, as basic as the force of gravitation, of electromagnetism, or the nuclear forces. We are living in a world which is oriented toward oneness. Wake up and become part of it, conscious part of it. That is our holy mission.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, I uh, believe that is that impulse to become more of who we truly are and to wake up to that is one of the most important. well, it's a driving force in my life, and I witness that the expansion of that leads to so much more coherence, and also choices that we make are much different. The ripple effect of that is tremendous.
It's wonderful to you recognize it. You're woken up, you were become illuminated already a long time ago. And it's wonderful that you champion that. You can share it with others because this kind of waking up, becoming conscious, is the positive evolutionary destiny that is in store for us.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm wondering if you have any final thoughts for our community and anything you would like to, any impulse you would have to share with them to help them in their own evolution.
Just to please recognize that this is not a time for despair, a time to abandon oneself to destiny. It's a time to act, a time to jubilate, to celebrate, because we are at the point where we can become conscious masters of our destiny. We can become that if we wake up. Waking up is a duty, is a mission, and the reward is living together in harmony on this planet. Nothing more could be achieved by any conscious being than that. That is the optimum of living together and sharing a planet so that everyone can live joyously on it, together in harmony, in oneness, and in coherence. That is our hope. That is the promise that we have in our consciousness, because our consciousness is filled, deep down is filled with the seeking for oneness, where is the seeking of joy and love. And to go after this and become masters of it is, as I said, our task and our positive destiny. It's wonderful to meet people like yourself who have created organizations, created entire imperious developments in which we can take consciously in hand who we are and what we are doing. More people like this, more organizations like this would push us into the next level of evolution, where there is peace and understanding and oneness, in one word, coherence. We can reach that level by waking up and become conscious of it, like you do and like people around you do.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Laszlo. This has been such a beautiful experience sharing this time with you.
It is very nice to be here with you, and I wish there were many of you. We must clone you and the people around you, because we need that kind of movement that you're initiating. So that put us past that bifurcation point to the positive destiny that is waiting for us if we wake up in time. So let's wake up together. Thank you for assisting in that.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm greatly honored. I appreciate you so much. And I want to thank our community for being here with us today. It's been such a pleasure sharing these talks with you. And just, I imagine that the expansion that we are creating here is sending out ripples into the world and bringing much more peace, serenity, and coherence to everyone through your presence and your awareness. Really appreciate you and want to send you many blessings, and take care of yourself. And we'll see you in the next talk. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sasa. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.